I can't tell you how happy I am to be here with you all. This has been such a labor of love and just a great effort to bring so many different types of people together, so many communities, organizations that are doing great work here in DC. I wanted to just introduce myself. My name is Jack Gordon. I've had a chance to meet a lot of you, but not all of you. For a good percentage of our gathering here today, this is the first time that we've ever gotten to meet in person or talk face to face, and I'm grateful for that opportunity, and I'm just humbled by the presence here, the turnout, the response to it overall. We had well over 100 people that responded, and the majority of those people are here today. We're still waiting for some people that'll trickle in, and everything about this type of interfaith event is flexibility and openness. So we're going to keep the door open a little bit longer, and hopefully other dear friends will be able to join us. I wanted to just, since I myself am going to be a little busy throughout the day, sort of running around and checking on things and making sure that everything's running smoothly. I won't be joining any of the one particular group, so I just wanted to take a minute to be able to tell you a little bit about myself and where I'm coming from and how this event came together, and what Faith in Action DC is, the multimedia project that really has been sort of at the focus and the catalyst for this gathering today, just in case I'm not able to or haven't been able to yet share a little bit about that with you. So I grew up in an interfaith family. My father his family is from a Jewish background. My mother's family is from a Christian background, Protestant, Methodist specifically, as well as a couple other denominations. However, the Jewish cultural upbringing and the religious upbringing was the main center point of my life. And unfortunately, because of some of the examples that I saw in Christianity and the history, particularly when it comes to relationships with Jewish communities, between Jews and Christians, I wasn't really seeing a lot of good stuff happening with Christianity and Christians. So unfortunately, I grew up with a perspective that was very prejudiced towards Christians in that context. And at the same time, I had in my family an extended number of people in my family that are part of the Baha'i community. I grew up not really knowing what it was. I knew that they were out there. But it took me a while to even start to ask questions about what the Baha'i community is all about. Long story short, while I was in college, I investigated a little bit more about the Baha'i community and its teachings, and I found that this message was something that was right for me, and I joined the Baha'i community. And I felt like this was something that really accented and helped me understand even better my own Jewish heritage, which I take complete ownership of and am very proud of. And at the same time, also helped me make peace with the Christian members of my family in Christianity as a whole and the teachings of Jesus. While I was in college, I was doing a lot of work with community organizing on campus and so forth, and I sort of had what you might call a come to Jesus moment at a gospel concert where I realized, oh, Jesus is like a really, really good community organizer. I can get on board with that. That's okay. So that was the beginning. It wasn't the end, but that was the beginning. And so have been, since I've been actively and part of the Baha'i community. I have really tried to do a lot of outreach effort and community building work. Specifically, when I came to DC, I was working with an institution that was broadcasting Persian language programming into Iran. The Baha'i faith community is the largest religious minority group in Iran, and unfortunately has been systematically persecuted by a succession of governments in Iran since the mid-1800s, since the birth of the community. So this program helps to inform people about accurate information and update people about the human rights situation in Iran and so forth. So I took it as sort of an initial initiative to do some outreach to the Muslim community locally and try to build some bridges where it had wonderful success. We had some great dialogues, and within a very short period of time, I was counting a number of Muslims in the local area as dear friends, close to my heart, and members of my family. So in more recent years, I've tried to do similar things with the Mormon community, and most recently in this past year, trying to make outreach to the Sikh community, because these are communities that growing up, Muslims and Mormons, LDS community, and Sikh community, have been people that I didn't really have a chance to interact with. And so it felt really important to take the initiative to go and do outreach, reach out first to make those connections. At the same time, I work in media production. This is my job and my profession. And I wanted to use my skills as a media producer to help to raise up all these awesome things that people are doing throughout the DC area, which is now my home, because I was seeing that different faith communities were doing such effective work mobilizing their communities, whether it's working with youth or for the environment, social justice across the board, whether large or small. And so in the fall of 2011, I started this multimedia project called Faith in Action DC. And I've been doing it in collaboration with the Interfaith Conference of Metropolitan Washington, of which I've been a board member and a representative of the local Baha'i community since the previous year, since 2010. So really, in conjunction with this, has been the catalyst for going out, meeting people. I've interviewed a number of you for that project. I've interviewed people, leaders in your communities, and it's just been a wonderful, beautiful opportunity to get out there and hear about all the great work that everybody's doing. And in that process, I got to meet so many of you that are in your different communities, that are doing all this great work. And I was thinking, wow, this person over here should really meet this person over here, and they're right down the block from each other in a lot of cases. But I wasn't hearing a lot about individuals specifically knowing each other. A lot of times, you all, I'm sure in your different lines of work, are so committed and so dedicated to the work that you're doing with your own individual community that interfaith work, sometimes it happens on a one-off event for a holiday or an individual service project. In some cases, organizations like IFC and Interfaith Power and Light and so forth are systematically bringing people together to do this type of work. But so many times, youth ministers or whomever the case is, are working so much just in their own individual community that there isn't an opportunity to really do systematic outreach across the board and say, what are the resources that we have? How can we partner together to be more effective and to serve our neighborhoods more effectively and systematically? So this idea was born, and back in August of this past year, I gathered a handful of friends who were like myself in their 20s and 30s. I just turned 30 this past year, and so I just pitched this idea. What do you think? Could we bring 100 young people like ourselves together to have a way to just spend a focused time talking and building relationships, and not necessarily to try and create a new organization because everybody's already taxed to the max, but to say, at least you go home with a resource list, you have some relationships that you've started, and you can call on these people in the future when you want to do outreach work. So this has been sort of the background and what's led us up to today. Again, I'm so grateful to all of you for being here, for your community support. We have a number of co-sponsors from different communities who've lent financial assistance and material assistance, not least of which the LDS community who's hosting us today. So I just want to just express my gratitude to everybody, first for showing up and for contributing as you have. So I just want to applaud you. So I do want to say, just in case, again, I don't have a chance to do it or you haven't had the time to do it yet, if you'd like to participate in the work that's happening with Faith in Action DC, we have a website, faithinactiondc.com. I encourage you all to go to it and to watch all the inspiring videos and the testimonies that people had about the work that they're doing. You have my business card in the packet. It has all the information, social media and stuff. I know you're not supposed to go out there, but so many likes on Facebook and everything is the really most important thing. But when you're trying to build, media and get information out there, actually having the number of people that follow your project is really important. So if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, you can find Faith in Action DC on there, and I would request that you guys sooner rather than later, before you forget, to go out there and find out about it. And I will follow you all, because I love hearing about all the work that you all are doing as well.